I'm fascinated by any Bruce Lee stuff. So
Yeah,
that's
dude.
all I'll say. If you're interested in that, just I would go see it for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so now to Marvel's Defenders.
Yes.
Netflix's latest release in the Marvel Universe brings together Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Danny Rand, and Matt Murdock,
Yes.
also known as Daredevil, Iron Fist, Power Man, and
Jessica Jones.
Jessica
Yeah.
Jones. Yeah,
An alcoholic Jessica Jones.
Jewel?
And
Yeah.
Jewel.
I never heard it called that.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Anyways, this was this. I liked it, but I mean, I thought, and I had said this before on the show, that these Marvel series on Netflix in particular were trending down.
Mhm.
Over the last few, especially with Iron Fist, which I just
I think
thought
that was a reaction to
was
Iron Fist in
Really,
itself.
yeah, I know, but it was definitely kind of heading in that direction. I was really hoping, and they brought back basically with the writers for Daredevil.
Mhm.
I think were responsible for this, and they kind of did that type of story
Mhm.
where it's just a little grittier. And I enjoyed this a lot. Of course, I still think the Iron Fist kind of stinks up anything he's in this, but I definitely dug what was going on with the Defenders.
Yeah, man, me too. I was a big fan of Jessica Jones, and I'm like, Marvel's doing great stuff. And then Luke Cage came out, and it was dope.
Right.
Daredevil was the first, I think, to really gain a lot of like big push.
'Cause you're like,
big-
wow, this is serious. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? It was definitely like it was violent. It was in your face. It was
It
definitely
came out
not.
swinging.
It did indeed.
Definitely not the bubblegum type of comic book stuff you're used to,
Mhm.
and I really appreciated that. So this is kind of in the same vein, not quite as hardcore, but
Well, this brought them all together in a story that seemed to take place in each of their individual universes, and it brought them together. So it tried not to have the style of any single show,
right,
but yeah, no, it was a Daredevil show with guest stars.
which is the best thing you could do, I think, in my opinion. You
I don't know.
what
I
mean? 'Cause
would
think
like to have
Daredevil's the
seen
story.
A Luke Cage story with guest stars because the soundtrack would have been better.
It would have been all gangster, and I would have been all fine with that for sure. All right.
All right. We're talking about the Marvel's Defenders, the newest Netflix series in the Marvel Universe, bringing together those four characters I mentioned. And the story is four of Marvel's biggest heroes are each working individually, but have one common goal in mind: to save New York City. Burdened with their own personal challenges, Matt Murdock, Daredevil, Jessica Drew, Luke Cage, and Danny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist, realize that they likely won't be able to accomplish their goals working solo. That realization leads them to team up and form the Defenders, a superhero group that is more equipped to save the Big Apple than the heroes would be if they continued to work on their own. Simple premise. Superheroes, they do good on their own. They come together. They should be this like major force. This series showed, each of them is like an extreme personality, and they're all kind of dicks in their own right. They come together, and they're dicks to each other.
Well, it's cool because the other Marvel movies, get Iron Man and all of them together. It's like they were aware of who each other were.
Yeah.
In this one, they're coming together like, who the hell are you? You know
Yeah,
what I
the
mean? When
meeting between-
Luke Cage is fighting Iron Fist, all of a sudden he gets punched with the fist, and he's like,
Yeah.
damn, you know what I mean? It's like, so they didn't know who each other were. Their identities are more or less kind of secret.
I like
still,
that.
so I like that too. So you bring those guys together, and they're realizing, well, I'm not alone. I'm not the most powerful person in the universe. This is, I'm not unique, even though I am. But
but there's other people that can help me accomplish this goal. And
Right.
even though I'm going to be my own prima donna self, I do acknowledge that, yeah, maybe I should concede and let this cat jump in, to the fray and back me up. Because when I'm facing like 47, 49, 93 people on my own, yeah, it might get a little hairy.
Yeah, they're humbled a little bit by it, and I like that take as well. So
Me too. Johnny, you're awfully quiet over there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, but yeah, as you both said, I mean, Iron Fist is the bad taste in everyone's mouth.
It's
And
gonna be the one black spot Marvel's got to will try to wash away.
he doesn't get any better. It's just like he's
Iron
not. He
Fist?
doesn't really have much charisma as an actor, as like a character. I
got to give it to him. He was much more likable in the Defenders here than he was in his own series.
probably because he was used as
you
a
can't get any worse.
punching bag, perhaps. I hope he was at least.
Wow.
As like
damn,
a comic relief kind of thing.
Well,
like, let's rag on this guy.
Well, as ice cold as that is, Yeah, he was at times.
There we go.
But this series really painted that in a realistic light. And not realistic. Think about what the fair we're talking about. But I believed how they got from point A to point B to point C to point D more than I normally would with most comic book stuff. Most comic book stuff is written like, well, over there, it's Superman. Well, tell me, Superman, I got to know about this. Okay, it's Captain America, I'll tell you this. And okay, what do you think about this Batman and stuff like that? It's written kind of shoddily. If you watch the first Avengers movie, where they had the battle for New York, the dialogue actually comes across like that. Even though it's a great movie, the dialogue is one thing that is it comes across like a comic book. This came across mostly like people talking to each other. They just happen to be talking about ninjas and punching dragons and friggin'
very comic-y related topics.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just plain like this damn show so much because Jessica Jones was good. Luke Cage was good. Daredevil was good. We won't talk about Iron Fist, but I was hoping that this wouldn't be the thing that really taints the legacy of those shows.
Yep.
And I like that they shortened it. Those series, I believe, were all 13 episodes each.
12 or 13, yeah.
Yeah.
Right around there, yeah.
Correct, yeah.
And it felt like they told their story, and then for some reason they felt they needed to keep going. I think Luke Cage should have ended when Cottonmouth died.
Yep.
Sorry, spoilers. It's been like what, 2-3 years?
And Jessica Jones should have been about 6 episodes shorter.
Yeah, and they told the story, and then they kind of dragged it out.
Yeah.
Which I think they just had to fulfill the 13
you
episode
could
contract.
have, but I didn't feel like, oh my god, it ended already. You know what I mean? Where
I kind of did.
It wasn't so bad, but yeah, I mean, how many times did she capture? I forget the villain's name.
Kilgrave, played by David Tennant.
Yeah, she captured him. He got away. She captured him again. He got away again. It happened over and over again.
They did it on some BS.
Who's the antagonist of the Defenders?
Yeah, that's a big important thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in order to have a good reason for all these superheroes to gather together, they need a really tour de force to go up against.
Yes, a character set you might only be familiar with if you watch Daredevil. The Hand is a ninja organization bent on not necessarily world domination, but more having a powerful enough place that if they decided to take over the world, it'd be no thing for them. They're more prominent in the comics. This was the first time
super ninjas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time an on-screen media tried to tackle an organization like the Hand, and I thought they did it really well.
It's like a
by
really
keeping them
badass Foot Clan.
Yeah, it's actually a really good way to say that. And it kept them kind of mostly off screen. The only people you really see are the 5 leaders of the Hand, and before the 5 leaders of the Hand, and a few of their henchmen here or there. The only times you see them in large numbers is when you have those the big fight scenes. The hallway fight scenes,
right?
Like they keep throwing in every series. This one I think might be my favorite of all of them.
It's good
For the fight scene.
Yeah, because sometimes it's kind of hackneyed. It's a thing they do, and they do it in all the movies. They do it in the other shows. But this one was dope.
This one was good. I mean, and to top the 2 that were in first and second season of Daredevil is really saying something, because those are some really great, not just the physical acting of it, but the way it was shot, the way
the choreography, yeah.
Beautiful.
So good.
Funny you mentioned earlier, this is not the whole team, but this is a chunk of the team from the Daredevil writers that did this, and I overheard a interview with them, and it did sound like it wasn't the more senior level people of this that sort of had the bigger picture in mind. These were the people that handled the smaller details of the writing as far as the writers for this. So I was a little nervous and skeptical as to whether or not they could handle this, the collection of 4 different superheroes together in one place.
Yeah, I didn't even know all that.
Also in the interview, they mentioned that their goal was to leave the characters in the same state that they received them in storyline-wise. They couldn't do anything significant to these characters, such that they would have to make major changes to their individual series.
Wait, so that scene when Iron Fist got the sex change, you're telling me that wasn't a dramatic change?
That was fine. Not sanctioned.
That's in the next series. We all know.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Spoilers.
No Punisher cameo?
I'm not going to tell you that, brother. Yeah, I will say though, dude, this was a very surprising, very refreshing new addition to Marvel's and I guess Netflix's TV universe, because they're doing good things. I was afraid this would have gone the route of Agents of Shield, where it's like we got the other popular properties. Now let's kind of play it safe with a lot of stories and just kind of like really pander to audiences without any kind of a legitimate play out in the stories. You know, everything's gonna seem almost like like an early '90s comic book movie. You know, Agents of Shield has always come across as kind of corny to me. This was not corny. Yo, people died. Parts of this was gory. The fights were like you felt punches, you felt kicks. You know, you were worried for the heroes. You know, it compels you. This was more compelling than any of the other shows. I have to give this dude. I got to give this a thumbs up, man. This was dope.
Yep, it's free.
Yeah, that
it's a nice brisk series that kind of reestablishes these characters that you really like, and definitely the ones that you don't. So it's telling, you know what I mean. So I really recommend watching this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, it's a nice, good 8 episodes of these characters that you already
it's nice and tight too.
That's
good.
How would the two of you sort of stack this up against the mainline series for each of these characters?
Actually, this was a nice addition to them. I think if you want to put them all against each other, this was better than the individual shows, but only because you got those characters and more.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's such a hard thing to judge. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't do it, but I don't think anything's better for me than the original Daredevil series. So I hold those up, and then that Jessica Jones series is fantastic. So I don't think they really compete.
You'd place it underneath those two?
I mean, if I had to, I don't think I would try it. They're so different. You know what I mean? They offer different things. But they're both good.
Mm.
They're both really good. So that's the point. I think I would definitely watch it again.
Mm.
I will.
Yep. All right. So it's Marvel's Defenders. It's available from Netflix right now, actually. I highly recommend checking it out.
I'll be checking it out.